What if the key to inner peace isn't adding more to your life, but releasing what you no longer need? Many of us spend years gripping our expectations, our past, our fears of the future, believing that control will keep us safe. We hold on to relationships that have already changed. We replay mistakes that cannot be undone. We cling to identities that no longer fit the person we are becoming. But Buddhist wisdom teaches something quiet and powerful. The moment you loosen your grip on life, life begins to open. Letting go is not giving up. It is making space for peace. In this video, we will explore 7 Buddhist lessons that gently guide you toward releasing what weighs on your heart. These teachings are not abstract philosophy. They are practical ways to find calm, clarity, and freedom in everyday life. Listen slowly. Allow each lesson to settle in your mind. And remember, sometimes the very thing you're searching for is waiting on the other side of letting go. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Let go of the illusion of control. One of the heaviest burdens a person can carry is the belief that they must control everything. Control over outcomes, control over people. At first, this desire seems reasonable. After all, control gives the mind a sense of safety. If you can predict what will happen, you feel prepared. If you can shape events, you believe you can avoid pain. But the Buddha taught a simple truth. Suffering often begins when we try to control what was never ours to control. Life moves according to countless conditions, other people's choices, the changing world, unexpected circumstances. When we insist that life follow our plan, we create tension between reality and expectation. And that tension becomes stress. Think about how much energy is spent worrying about things that have not happened yet. Conversations you imagine in your mind, outcomes you try to calculate, scenarios you replay again and again. The mind believes it is solving problems, but often it is only exhausting itself. Letting go of control does not mean becoming passive or careless. It means understanding the difference between what you can influence and what you must allow. You can choose your actions. You can choose your attitude. You can choose how you respond. But you cannot control every result. When you accept this, something inside you softens. Instead of asking, "How can I make everything go exactly the way I want?" you begin to ask a wiser question. How can I meet whatever comes with calm and clarity? This shift changes everything. You begin to trust life more. You breathe a little deeper. You stop gripping every moment as if it must unfold perfectly. Try a simple practice today. The next time you notice yourself worrying about an outcome, pause. Take a slow breath. Then gently say to yourself, "I will do my part. The rest I release." You might be surprised how much peace enters your mind when you stop trying to control the entire universe. Sometimes the door to freedom opens the moment you loosen your grip. Lesson 2. Let go of the past that still lives in your mind. There is a quiet habit the mind has, one that many people carry for years without noticing. It revisits the past again and again. A mistake you made long ago, a moment you wish you had handled differently, a relationship that ended in ways you did not expect. The body may move forward in time, but the mind often stays behind. Buddhist teachings remind us that memory is powerful, but it is also incomplete. When we replay the past, we are not reliving the moment exactly as it happened. We are reliving the story the mind has created around it, and often that story is heavy with judgment. You might think, I should have known better. I ruined everything. If only I had done things differently. But this kind of thinking quietly keeps you tied to a moment that has already passed. The Buddha taught that clinging to the past is like trying to carry a burning coal in your hands. The longer you hold it, the more it hurts. Letting go does not mean forgetting your past. It means changing your relationship with it. Your past can still be a teacher, but it does not need to be a prison. Every person who has lived has made mistakes. Every life contains moments of regret. These experiences are not signs that you failed. They are signs that you were human. The wisdom of Buddhism encourages a different perspective. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" try asking, "What did this moment teach me?" Sometimes the lesson is patience. Sometimes the lesson is boundaries. Sometimes the lesson is simply compassion for yourself and for others. Once the lesson is learned, the mind can finally rest. Here is a gentle exercise. Imagine placing the memories that trouble you into a small boat. You acknowledge them, you thank them for the lessons they brought, and then you allow the boat to drift slowly down a river. You watch it move farther away, not with anger, not with denial, but with understanding. The past has already completed its role in your life. Your mind does not need to carry it forever. In Buddhism, every moment is considered a new beginning. Each breath is an opportunity to return to the present. You cannot change yesterday, but you can choose how lightly you walk today. And sometimes the first step toward peace is simply deciding that the past no longer needs to live inside your mind. Lesson 3. Let go of expectations that steal your peace. Many people believe that suffering comes from what happens in life. But Buddhist wisdom teaches something more subtle. Often, suffering comes from the expectations we quietly carry in our minds. Expectations about how people should treat us. Expectations about how life should unfold. Expectations about who we thought we would become by now. When reality moves in a different direction, disappointment appears. You may have expected someone to stay in your life forever. You may have imagined a future that now looks different. You may have believed that by a certain age, everything would finally make sense. But life rarely follows the script we write for it. And when the mind clings tightly to these expectations, every unexpected turn feels like a personal failure. In Buddhism, attachment to expectations is often described as a quiet source of suffering. The mind creates an image of how things should be, and then struggles when life presents something else. But letting go of expectations does not mean abandoning hope or dreams. It means learning to hold them gently. Imagine holding sand in your hand. If you squeeze tightly, the sand slips through your fingers, but if you keep your palm open, the sand rests peacefully. Life works in a similar way. The more tightly we grip our expectations, the more tension we create inside ourselves. But when we allow life to unfold with openness, we begin to discover something surprising. Unexpected paths can lead to unexpected wisdom. Think about moments in your life that did not go according to plan. At the time, they may have felt like mistakes, setbacks, or losses. Yet later, many of those moments may have shaped you in ways you never anticipated. Perhaps a difficult ending led you to greater self-understanding. Perhaps an unexpected change revealed strengths you didn't know you had. Life is rarely linear. It unfolds like a winding path through a forest, sometimes unclear, sometimes mysterious, but always moving forward. The Buddha encouraged people to meet life with what is called equanimity, a calm acceptance of whatever arises. Equanimity does not mean indifference. It means remaining steady whether things go your way or not. Try noticing how often your mood changes based on whether events match your expectations. When something aligns with your plans, the mind feels satisfied. When something deviates, frustration appears. But imagine if your peace did not depend on everything going perfectly. Imagine if your calm remained steady even when life surprised you. You can begin practicing this in small moments. When something minor goes differently than expected, traffic, delays, a change of plans, pause before reacting. Take a breath and quietly remind yourself, life does not have to follow my expectations for me to be at peace. This simple shift softens the mind. Over time, you may begin to notice something profound. When expectations loosen, appreciation grows. You stop measuring every moment against an imagined ideal. Instead, you begin meeting life exactly as it is, and in that openness, new possibilities appear. Sometimes the life you resisted is quietly becoming the life you needed. Lesson 4. Let go of the need to prove yourself. From a young age, many people are taught that their value must be proven through achievement, through recognition, through constant effort. You learn to measure yourself through comparison. Am I successful enough? Am I respected enough? Have I done enough with my life? These questions can quietly follow a person for decades. Even when outward success appears, the mind continues searching for validation. There is always another goal, another expectation, another standard to reach. But the Buddha offered a perspective that gently dissolves this endless race. Your worth was never meant to be measured. In Buddhist teachings, the deepest peace comes from understanding the nature of the self. The identity we spend so much time defending, our titles, roles, accomplishments, is not fixed. It is constantly changing. The person you were 10 years ago is not the same person sitting here now. Your thoughts change. Your desires change. Your circumstances change. If everything about you is evolving, then what exactly is there to prove? Much of the pressure people feel comes from an invisible audience inside the mind. You imagine how others might judge you. You compare your path to someone else's timeline. You feel as if you must constantly demonstrate that your life is meaningful. But pause for a moment and ask yourself something honest. Who are you trying to prove yourself to? Often, the answer is unclear. The mind has simply been trained to chase approval. Yet the more you seek validation outside yourself, the more restless the mind becomes. Because approval is unpredictable. Praise comes and goes. Recognition fades. Buddhist wisdom invites you to step out of this exhausting cycle. Instead of proving your worth, begin recognizing it. Your existence itself is already enough. You do not need to compete with others to justify your life. You do not need to achieve extraordinary things to deserve peace. You do not need constant productivity to have value. In fact, some of the most meaningful moments in life are the quietest ones. A thoughtful conversation, a moment of genuine listening, a simple act of kindness. These moments rarely receive applause, yet they shape the world in gentle ways. When you release the need to prove yourself, a deep freedom emerges. You begin doing things not to impress others, but because they feel meaningful to you. Your actions become guided by sincerity instead of pressure. Work becomes more balanced. Relationships become more authentic. Your mind becomes quieter. Here is a small reflection to try. The next time you notice yourself comparing your life to someone else's, pause and breathe. Then remind yourself, my path does not need to look like anyone else's. Every person moves through life at their own rhythm. Some paths are loud and visible, others are quiet and deeply reflective. Neither is superior. The Buddha often spoke about the idea of walking the middle path, a life free from extremes of striving and self-denial. When you stop trying to prove yourself to the world, you return to that middle ground, a place where effort still exists, but pressure fades, where ambition becomes intention rather than obsession, where your life unfolds naturally instead of constantly performing. In that space, you begin to feel something many people spend years searching for, a quiet sense of enoughness. And once you feel that, the need for external approval slowly loses its power, because peace was never waiting at the finish line of achievement. It was always waiting inside the moment you accepted yourself exactly as you are. Lesson 5. Let go of relationships that no longer nurture your peace. One of the most difficult things for people to release is not an object, a habit, or even a painful memory. It is a relationship. Human beings are naturally wired for connection. From childhood onward, we build emotional bonds with family, friends, partners, and communities. These relationships often shape how we see ourselves and how we move through the world. But as life unfolds, something quiet and inevitable happens. People change, you change, others change. Paths that once ran side by side may slowly begin to move in different directions. And yet many people hold on to relationships long after they have stopped bringing peace. Not because love is still present, but because letting go feels frightening. There may be history, shared memories, years of emotional investment. A part of the mind may whisper, if I let this go, was all of it meaningless? But Buddhist wisdom offers a compassionate perspective. The value of a relationship is not measured by how long it lasts. It is measured by what it brings into your life during the time it exists. Some relationships arrive to teach joy. Some arrive to teach patience. Some arrive to reveal your strength. And some arrive simply to help you understand what you truly need. Not every connection is meant to remain forever. In Buddhism, attachment often creates suffering when we try to force permanence onto things that are naturally changing. When a relationship begins to feel heavy, draining, or filled with constant tension, the mind may resist accepting what is already clear. You might find yourself trying harder and harder to keep things as they once were. You explain more. You compromise more. You silence parts of yourself just to maintain harmony. But peace cannot grow where authenticity is suppressed. Letting go of a relationship does not always mean cutting someone out of your life entirely. Sometimes it simply means creating space. Space to breathe. Space to rediscover your own energy. Space to allow the relationship to transform into something different, or to quietly fade if that is its natural course. There is a gentle phrase often repeated in mindfulness practice. You can love someone and still release them. Love does not always mean closeness. Sometimes love means accepting that both of you are on different journeys. It means wishing them well without needing them to walk beside you. If you are struggling to let go of a relationship that no longer brings peace, begin with honesty. Ask yourself a few quiet questions. When I spend time with this person, do I feel lighter or heavier? Do I feel seen and respected, or do I feel small and misunderstood? Am I staying because of genuine connection, or because I fear being alone? These questions are not meant to create judgment. They are meant to create clarity. Your energy is one of the most precious things you possess. The people who share space in your life influence the tone of your thoughts, the calm of your mind, and the direction of your personal growth. Choosing relationships that nurture your peace is not selfish, it is wisdom. The Buddha spoke often about the importance of spiritual community, what is known as Sangha. A healthy community is one that supports your inner growth, encourages compassion, and allows you to be fully yourself. This kind of connection does not require perfection, it requires mutual respect. When you release relationships that continually disturb your peace, you create room for something healthier to enter your life. Perhaps new friendships, perhaps deeper self-understanding, perhaps simply the quiet comfort of your own company. And sometimes that peaceful space becomes the beginning of a more authentic chapter in your life. Letting go may feel painful at first, but holding on to something that harms your peace is often far more painful in the long run. You deserve relationships that feel like calm water, not constant storms. Lesson 6. Let go of the fear that the future is against you. The mind has a powerful ability to travel through time. Within seconds, it can revisit a moment from 10 years ago, or imagine a situation that may never happen. This ability helps human beings plan and prepare. But when the mind spends too much time in the future, something else begins to grow. Fear. You may notice this in quiet moments, perhaps late at night when the world becomes still. The mind begins asking questions. What if things go wrong? What if I fail? What if the future is harder than I can handle? These thoughts often feel convincing because the mind presents them as preparation. It believes that by imagining every possible problem, it will somehow protect you from pain. But in reality, constant worrying about the future only creates suffering in the present. The Buddha described this pattern clearly. When the mind chases the future, it loses contact with the only place where life is actually happening, the present moment. Right now, as you listen to these words, notice something simple. You are breathing. Your body is here. This moment is real. But the worries about tomorrow are only stories the mind is creating. That does not mean the future does not matter. Of course it does. But peace comes when you understand that the future is not something you can fully predict or control. In Buddhism, trust in the unfolding of life is cultivated through mindfulness. Mindfulness gently brings your attention back to what is actually happening rather than what might happen. The next time your thoughts begin spiraling into anxious predictions, try this simple grounding practice. Pause for a moment. Take a slow breath in, then another. Feel the movement of your breath in your chest or your abdomen. Allow your attention to settle into the rhythm of breathing. This small practice reconnects you with the present moment, the only moment where you can truly act, learn, and grow. Many fears about the future are based on assumptions that have not yet become reality. The mind imagines difficulties, but rarely imagines the strengths you might discover when facing them. Think back to moments in your past when you faced uncertainty. There were likely times when you believed you could not handle what was coming, and yet, somehow, you moved through it. Perhaps not perfectly, perhaps not easily, but you did. Human beings are far more resilient than the fearful mind often believes. When you release the constant need to predict and control the future, you begin to experience something quietly powerful. Trust. Not blind optimism, not denial of challenges, but a calm understanding that whatever arises, you will meet it step by step. Life has always unfolded one moment at a time. The future is not a giant problem waiting for you. It is simply a series of present moments that have not arrived yet. When they do arrive, you will meet them just as you have met every other moment in your life, through awareness, choice, and presence. Letting go of fear about the future does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means freeing yourself from unnecessary suffering. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" try asking a quieter question. What if I am capable of meeting whatever comes? That question creates space. Space for courage, space for patience, space for peace. And often, that space is where life begins to feel lighter again. Lesson 7. Let go of the version of yourself you think you should be. There is one attachment that many people carry quietly for years. It is not attachment to possessions. It is not attachment to relationships. It is attachment to an idea of who they believe they should be. Perhaps you imagined a certain life by now, a certain level of success, a certain identity, a certain path that felt clear in your younger years. But life has a way of reshaping those plans. Time passes, circumstances change, new experiences alter how you see the world and how you see yourself. Yet the mind often keeps holding on to an old image, the image of the person you thought you would become. And when your current life does not match that image, a quiet form of suffering appears. You might hear thoughts like, "I should be further along by now. I should have done more with my life. I should be stronger than this." These expectations are rarely spoken out loud, but they can weigh heavily on the heart. Buddhist wisdom offers a gentle invitation. Release the person you think you were supposed to be so you can finally meet the person you are becoming. In Buddhism, identity is not considered fixed. The self is constantly evolving through experiences, choices, relationships, and awareness. The person you were 10 years ago had a different understanding of life. The person you are today carries different wisdom. Neither version is wrong. They are simply different chapters of the same unfolding story. But when you cling to an outdated idea of yourself, you limit the growth that life is inviting you into. Imagine a tree that refuses to grow new branches because it wants to look exactly the way it did years ago. Growth would stop. Life would stagnate. Human beings are no different. Sometimes letting go means releasing the expectations you once placed on yourself, not with disappointment, but with compassion. Perhaps you chose a path that did not lead where you expected. Perhaps your life turned in directions you never planned. Perhaps certain dreams changed shape over time. That does not mean your life is off course. It simply means your story is still unfolding. The Buddha often reminded his followers that comparison is one of the fastest ways to lose peace. When you compare your journey to others, the mind begins measuring your life against timelines that were never meant for you. But every life has its own rhythm. Some lessons arrive early, others arrive later. Some paths are fast, others are slow and reflective. None of these paths are inferior. They are simply different. Instead of asking yourself whether you have lived up to expectations, try asking a softer question. Who am I becoming through these experiences? You may notice something beautiful. The person you are today may carry more patience than you once did, more empathy, more understanding of what truly matters. These qualities often grow quietly, outside the spotlight of achievement, but they shape the depth of your life in ways external success never can. Letting go of the person you thought you should be creates space for authenticity. You begin making choices based on what feels true to you now, not what once seemed expected. You allow your life to evolve naturally. And something remarkable happens. The pressure to constantly measure yourself fades. You begin to move through life with more curiosity, more acceptance, more peace. You realize that life was never a race to become someone impressive. It was an opportunity to become someone aware, someone compassionate, someone present. The moment you release the burden of becoming the perfect version of yourself, you begin to experience the freedom of simply being human. And in that freedom, life becomes lighter. Letting go is not something that happens all at once. It is a quiet practice, a moment-by-moment choice to release what no longer brings peace. Today, you reflected on 7 Buddhist lessons about letting go, of control, of the past, of expectations, of pressure, of unhealthy relationships, of fear about the future, and even of the person you thought you had to be. Each small release creates space. Space for calm, space for clarity, space for a deeper kind of happiness. If these teachings resonated with you, consider subscribing to Mindfulness, where we explore Buddhist wisdom, inner peace, mindfulness practices, and spiritual growth. Your presence here helps share calm and reflection with people around the world. Until next time, breathe gently, move through life with patience, and remember, sometimes everything you are searching for begins the moment you learn to let go.